this is Dick Cheney's high school
picture.
Yeah,
I didn't know he went to,
Yeah, and he was voted most likely to accidentally invent ISIS.
Oh, that's so nice. That's very interesting. I did not know that. Yeah. He got voted that.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's you never read that in most yearbooks.
I see a comment on Infowars.com in the article, Why Obama Refuses to Call It Islamic Terrorism. And Jack says, Islamic threat? I thought ISIS was a CIA-run unit. And fake. That's not exactly what we said. In order to take our rights, according to Alex Jones. So, by Alex Jones' own admission, he should be praising Obama for resisting the New World Order created war. This is a dialectic to confuse the weak-minded. I'm going to try to explain this to Jack very slowly and very sweetly. When they used the radical Islamists with Saudi Arabian funding in 1979 under Zbigniew Brzezinski's plan to launch wars, not just in Afghanistan, but areas bordering Afghanistan to the north and to the west, forcing the Russians to come in to respond. That was a trap. So they didn't totally control the jihadis. They were funding them, they were arming them, and then later they were supposedly blowback on 9/11. But the door was opened. And Saudi Arabia was there running the operation, the 28 pages. Senator Graham of the 9/11 Commission has gone public. And I've talked to Walter Jones, a congressman. He's gone public. And Colonel Schaefer and everybody else, okay? So I was right again, period. So, I'm going to explain this to you. It isn't just black or white where it's either 100% run or it is 100% run. 4.5 years ago, a program was launched in Libya, in Syria, and Egypt, and a bunch of other places to overthrow the governments and put radicals in. Obama and other Soros-connected groups, even above the CIA, they do this even outside government. This stuff's so criminal. Went in. And with Google Analytics and with Facebook behind it, they all met the same place Bilderberg met a few years ago. They met there a few years before that. They're north of London. This has all been publicly released and funded the Arab Spring, where they get the students and everybody out the street. But then the radicals use that once they take over to coup d'etat the coup. And then now you have an Islamic State over Libya, over Saudi Arabia, which is already quarterbacking it, over Syria, over Egypt. So, there's Wesley Clark. We have it on screen. Libya and Syria, the neocon plan to attack 7 countries in 5 years using destabilization. Once you destabilize, you then have an excuse to come in and bomb the very groups you turned loose to begin with. So, Obama is acting like he's a moderate and that he's only fighting, some of the radicals because, he loves Islam so much. The truth is, they're doing limited airstrikes on different disparate rebel groups that are in there battling for control of Syria that the West opened the door for to get them buggy whipped into line so that then they can be forged into a new army to go in and take out Syria. And the excuse will be because of the Syrian civil war that gave ISIS a home base, that gave al-Qaeda a home base. And so now we've got to go in and clean out the whole country. It's Assad's fault. We've already heard this. You're going to hear it again. That's why they're saying, oh, we're there with rebels now, calling in airstrikes and giving them weapons with billions of dollars of funding that Congress has passed in 3 different spending packages the last 4 or 5 months. Billions of dollars. And it's in the Wall Street Journal that, well, the good rebels are being given vehicles, and they're allowed to launch attacks. And then you'll see these very vehicles in a month flying ISIS flags, and no one will go, wait a minute, we gave them that. Or they might say, oh, yeah, ISIS captured it. Just like they captured Iraqi bases full of artillery and new weapons and RPGs, like the Marines and the Army just left those weapons caches in bases and didn't defend them or didn't have self-destruct bombs, didn't have detonators already placed to blow up ammo dumps. They let them have it. And all they need is the plausible deniability, just like Benghazi and the heat-seeking missiles, the anti-aircraft surface-to-air missiles. So I've been here since Benghazi happened and before, telling you exactly what would unfold, and now it is. And your response is, Islamic threat? Close quote. I thought ISIS was a CIA-run unit and fake in order to take our rights. Yes, they're now having a radical, extremism meeting, and most of it they're now saying is going to be about gun owners and right-wingers and veterans and Tim McVeigh types. See, you're seeing it. I told you, year after year, they're going to let the Islamic radical threat take place, then they're going to target domestic groups. And you're seeing that yet again with a 2-day summit that's about to begin, and you're going to hear all about domestic groups. Guaranteed. So they're going to use the shootings and the bombings and all the rest of it happening in Europe right now to then be projected on to the general public and the people resisting the globalist takeover. The people resisting the fact that our borders are wide open and we're now in a North American Union and having our basic freedoms dissolved. And the government's announcement is going to start coming after your private pension funds and your investment funds and your education funds, your retirement funds. They're putting the police state in for the American people, but they need the average cops and even the average FBI and CIA to go along with its implementation, believing it's for the radical Islamicist threat. But now they're converting and shifting to the domestic threat, which I've told you thousands of times obnoxiously they would, and now it's happening. And then when they're done, they're going to blow up buildings, this criminal international group. They're going to shoot up schools. They're going to do you name it, and they're going to blame Alex Jones and talk radio in general and free speech and anyone that is not totally in line with foreign banks gutting this country and Obamacare and open borders and your kids being taught at age 5 how to have sex and this whole agenda to take over our society and forced inoculations and the rest of it.